officer. The Sandy situation is so fucked up that there's so much evidence found by people not even in the judicial system to prove that these guys are guilty. Yet nothing has come about this. This is how fucked up the world is, and you want to know why? Because white privileges make it this way. And this is what we strive to want to have. That's how fucked up we are. We as black people want these white privileges. We want them, but we don't realize once you step off American soil, blacks are more dominant across the world than anywhere else. Whites are struggling to survive. Do you know that white people technically are extinct? Like, they are literally on the cusp of extinction? No, seriously.
Oh, no, you know what? You're right. You're right, though. I see your point.
If you really pay attention to where the origin of white people are from, their origin is on the brink of extinction. Europe is not a place you can live at. You cannot thrive. The vegetation there is not built for survival. Hence why white people are so violent, so aggressive, so for dominating other races and cultures, because they need to oppress to survive. They need to be aggressive. If you look at history, as much as we as black people are not representative in American history or in European history, the one thing that's constant in their history is violence, aggression, even fighting each other. But if you go to Africa and you actually sit down with Africans and you actually talk to them and you learn the history of their land, it might not be your land, but if you learn the history of their land, you would know that Africans never really fought each other unless it was over domination of borders.
Yeah. Oh, check this out.
Go ahead.
I was watching some I got especially lately since I'm all about Netflix and Hulu Plus, by Time Warner. I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and it was one talking about the stereotypes, what America has taught us about Africa. How they run around naked all the time and they're hunting and eating other people. When the truth was, back in the day, over up in Europe, they were the true practicing cannibals up there. They were sacrificing babies and people and eating them left and right up there. That was not going on in Africa. That was going on up in Europe.
What people don't understand, the story of Adam and Eve and the story of evolution are literally one and the same. Okay? The Neanderthalian man actually really did exist. The Neanderthalian man is actually the origin of whites. Okay? That is actually their history. Okay? Because due to the fact of where they live, there was no way in hell you could have survived harsh, cold winters without having to do the things that they do, the domination that they needed to do, the savagery that they needed to do. You had to done those things. Meanwhile, the real origin of man is actually parallel to Adam and Eve to a certain extent. The origin of Adam and Eve states that they stepped out from a Garden of Eden. Okay? If you've ever been to Africa or if you've ever seen true documentation of Africa, Africa is literally a wasteland. Is a flatbed of vegetation for everything. Africa is the only location that could survive and house every single animal that has been described as being in the Garden of Eden. Okay? It's the only place. Everything that can be found in the world originates from Africa. Therefore, when the story of Adam and Eve is being told, and taking into consideration the story of Adam and Eve are told by white people, the Garden of Eden is literally a representation of Africa. This is why the Europeans had to invade our land of Africa. They had to come here because we had everything they needed to survive. It was that important to them. It was so important to them that they came from Europe and went all the way down to South Africa, top to bottom. Take shit. That fucking serious, people. Okay? Let me stop, because I'll be going in tonight. How's that?
I knew this topic was, there's so much. And if the thing is, what saddens me, this is for my own people, I wish they would know their history a little bit more or care to explore because it's so much that they don't know, and you can tell by what comes out of their mouths, or you can tell by their views. And look, you don't have to be racist or anything like to know your history so you can understand what's going on, because otherwise you're going to believe everything and anything that somebody tells you. And that's how we've gotten to where we are now. And it's just imagine how I felt the more I started to study the history of my people. Once I got out of high school and I started to look in other books and really see what the map of the world really looks like, being taught that Egypt was its own on its own, come to find out Egypt is part of Africa all this damn time. I felt dumb as hell, but that's what we were taught in public school. You know what I'm saying? So it's just to realize that it's like you have to know your own history. They're not going to tell you this. They're not going to show you. You got to get out here and want to know it for yourself.
Right, which is true. And that's the problem. We have gotten to the point where we've allowed them to suppress our knowledge so much that we believe everything they told us. Okay? Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is once again, we have the greatest invention ever by man, and we misuse it. Okay? I'm not expecting every single black person in the world to go on there and start looking up different places in Africa, because all that's going to do is confuse people even more. But I would like for you to do more research of where you're from than more so how well old girl down the block can twerk on Instagram. Like, change up what you think.
Exactly.
Even when you start questioning stuff. Okay? Here's what I want you people to do. Start off with something very simple. All right? Anytime you see a black movie that comes out and you want to go see it, go online and look up more information in regards to it, because 9 times out of 10, something in that movie is based on truth. So do your research. Hell, you don't even have to be black movies. Look at regular movies. Shit, there's not a damn movie I don't watch where I then don't turn around and go research somebody or research something in regards to it, because there's always some form of truth behind everything. Then what starts to happen is you start to learn more. Then you start finding a topic you want to get more about. Then you start to go more in depth. Hell, randomly start questioning stuff. The greatest place to start when you're going to ask questions and you want to learn more is the Bible, believe it or not. Don't question what you read in the Bible. Start questioning the location stuff went down in the Bible. Okay? Find out where the fuck Jerusalem is. Study what's going on in Jerusalem. See how close it is to Africa. See how close it is to us. See how long of a damn walk Jesus took. Because Jesus walked, okay? All right? That nigga walked, all right? But that will help you understand a lot more. You'll start to look at things a little bit different. So then when white America wants to go out and put out a movie that depicts a particular demographic and you see nothing but white motherfuckers in the whole damn thing, you're going to sit back and look, nigga, no, it wasn't white. That nigga was black as shit. What the fuck is this?
I spazzed out in a post not long ago on Facebook about, I don't know if that movie even came out. I don't know, but they were talking about Egypt again and the whole damn cast. And it was a petition going around.
When they dropped the movie Moses, okay, the movie Moses was perfect from top to bottom, except for one thing. Fucking Moses was white as stuff. And the black community more than anybody erupted. Because this is one of the things on the checklist that I didn't get to on purpose because that list took a while, but the list says, when I turn on the TV, do I see my people properly represented? No. Historical information shows that there is no way in hell anybody from this region could have been that damn white. But you don't want to properly represent it. You don't want to properly put people in these positions. Black people are never properly represented in anything unless black people are in charge of making it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that black people don't get their dues, because you can turn on TV shows all the time and see some positive black people in regards to it, but why did they only see one or two? Why is it every time Walking Dead does a new season, one black man got to get killed off before you add another one? Like, niggas can only survive one at a time. I was literally laughing about that with my friend, that whenever a new black person popped up on an episode of Walking Dead, you knew damn well that the other black person was going to die within the next two episodes. and it still holds true. Hell, there was even one black person that was added. It was actually one black person that was added and killed off within 2 episodes.
Damn. Couldn't even get a full check.
It just made me laugh. Like, I'm not mad because you're catering to America, and America is predominantly white. And I told you why it's predominantly white with the fact that they opened up the floodgate after the Civil War and told everybody bring your ass here. So America is predominantly white. America would not have been predominantly white had they not did that. That's the irony behind all of this. Had they not done that, once the slaves were free, we would have actually overpopulated America, that this would have been our land again. Even though we had no origin anymore, this would have been our land had we not been basically made stupid to believe whatever the white folks told us before was right. All right, enough about history. But we're not represented right. And that's another example of white privilege. Because when we do something, we automatically get labeled and categorized. Whereas when white people do something, it's looked at as the norm. And at the end of the day, that might not be the norm at all. Then when white people do stuff that is directly insulting to us, we're caught overreacting. The most recent example of this, people, Miley fucking Cyrus. Okay?
Oh, my God.
Hannah Montana Miley was cool. I accepted her. She was a country bunking little chick enjoying life. But when she became an adult and her daddy just let her go do what she wanted to, Miley Cyrus became the biggest insult to black America known to mankind. She started taking everything that we embrace as our culture and claiming it as her own, even to the point that at this year's VMA, yes, the same VMA where Nikki checked her, where y'all, white America's looking at Nikki as being an angry black person, but in actuality, Nikki basically put somebody in their place for opening their mouth when they didn't need to, because Miley could avoid that whole conversation altogether. But she came out with dreads, dressing up in black culture, okay, talking in black talk, and even started using the word mammy as part of her normal connotations.
See, I didn't watch the whole VMA, so I ain't catching that bull. That's fuckery.
Yeah. Her whole entire vocabulary was just one blatant disrespect to the African-American community. All right? But the VMAs as a whole was disrespectful. All right? Everything from the exact topic we're discussing today, which was white privilege. They literally made a mock commercial about white privileges. It was actually my fault to not have that together. But you can definitely go on Instagram. Well, not on Instagram. It's too short for Instagram. You can actually go on YouTube, all right, and actually look up white privilege, all right? And they actually have a video. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on. Then there was also the Rebel Wilson VMA police joke. Whereas in the same reason why we did today's topic and how police brutality is at an all-time high this year, Rebel Wilson comes out and actually literally cracks a joke about police brutality. To this day, I really don't support MTV. And I definitely don't support VH1. I try my best not to support either one of those shows, all right? But they have definitely been pushing the envelope lately in regards to openly disrespecting us. It started with the love of Flavor Flav, and it has turned into Miley Cyrus on the VMAs, hosting the VMAs, people. Not just on the VMA, but hosting. I mean, come on now. The chick calls Paula Patton and Robin Thicke to break up. That is some
man.
powerful ignorancy.